This Atlanta Falcons team preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
One of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Oh. Hello there, Falcons fans.
Yes.
They probably are not looking forward to this episode.
Really?
I can't imagine they think we're going to be high on the Falcons.
Well, I might be high on the Falcons.
We've said nice things about Bijan. Sure.
I'm kind of in on Michael Penix. I think there's some question marks for their defense, but I think their schedule is pretty manageable.
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy. So I think you want to talk about a fraud team that might be able to sneak into the playoffs. A team that probably would be like an 8-point dog in what come wild card weekend. This Atlanta Falcons team might be that team.
So the Falcons are on the cusp, right? They're fighting for that wild card spot. Michael Penix scrambles to his left, runs to the end zone, reaches across, scores, but gets blown the fuck up. They make the playoffs only to have Kirk Cousins start on the road. That's what we're going to get, right?
I mean,
Kirk Cousins on the road, and I mean Minnesota would be great, but probably not.
It was fun digging around in the Falcon subreddit to see if I could find any interesting angles, kind of where the fan base is at. There was a lot of discussion of Kirk Cousins on the documentary Quarterback, where he goes to great clips or super cuts and brings a photo of his team headshot for what he wants for his photo. And of course, a lot of people superimposed, hey, this is what I want. And then it's a photo of Michael Penix take it over. But I think they were pretty out on Kirk Cousins. Last year, they came in with a tremendous amount of hype. It was a very weird year going into the Falcons last year. If you forgot, they drafted Michael Penix 8th overall, in spite of the fact they paid Kirk Cousins a ton of money. Now we were always going to look to fade them.
Time's really helped that, right?
What do you mean?
Oh, like time has been helpful to that. Like that was the worst thing that has ever happened, ever.
Well, there was a lot of people
now we're
criticizing.
like, cool, Michael Penix is starting.
Well, everyone was right. It was dumb to pay Kirk Cousins all that money and draft Michael Penix. Now let's take a look at the 2024 season, Ryan. Recap where we were at. We both had the under, cash that. Although, even though they looked really bad, there was a period where the Falcons were 6-3, even though Cousins couldn't move, was super stiff.
He was maybe injured.
Yeah, or maybe not fully recovered from the Achilles. It kind of became a sweat there. They ended up going 8-9, 6-10-1 ATS. We both had them going 8-9, nailed it exactly. Shout out to us. The win total was 9.5. Make playoffs -205. That was crazy. But
remember how Kirk Cousins was like, oh, now they're Super Bowl contenders. They got their quarterback. Remember how hilarious this team has been, and now everyone like took serious pills and they're like, oh, look out! Michael Penix is maybe Michael Penix is the serious character they needed.
I mean, you look at that offense to me, and we'll get into it, but their offensive line looks pretty good. I mean, what do we have them ranked on our sheets? And of course, check out the sheets over in the Patreon.
I did.
Kramer finally hasn't revealed.
No,
them.
I did post it.
Oh, okay.
But you know, gotta give him a little teaser. Give him some time. What was your question?
What is their offensive line?
7th.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I watched that team last year, and I don't know if I'm necessarily looking at an offensive line that even with the changes, I would be confident enough to say like guaranteed top 10 unit. And so Yeah, I don't want to project the Michael Penix thing, which I think basically if you're high on the Falcons, you're high on Michael Penix. If you're
Yeah.
not, you're probably not as high. Now I will concede that the Bijan turn for me was very sharp when I was doing the research for the fantasy episode. I said, well, I completely missed on how incredibly dominant this guy was last year and how consistent he was. And regardless of what you say about the quarterback, a running back will perform generally to the level of the offense,
Yeah.
or a little above. And so, considering they finished middle of the road in DVOA on offense, and he finished as one of the top running backs, like that is interesting to me. The case against for me is that will this be the same offense again, or are they actually capable of taking a step forward?
I think their offense is going to take a step forward. Now it's a bit of projection because we only saw Michael Penix attempt 100 passes, so not a ton of film to break down or stuff to look
But you
at.
liked him.
I did a little bit of an eye test. I liked him. I liked him in college. I like the idea he's playing a lot of dome games. I think that's favorable. I like their schedule. I like their offensive line.
You do like the offensive line.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think they're a competent offensive line and they have continuity. This is the third year in a row, same 5 starting offensive linemen. I think that makes a difference.
It should make a difference.
Fourth easiest schedule. Again, like I think Penix, now that it's his time to run the roost there in Atlanta. I think there's some cases for some optimism. Now you look at the offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. He actually, considering Kirk Cousins couldn't move and couldn't do anything for like basically the majority of the time he was in there. Like, remember they had him like not just running shotgun the entire time because he couldn't take snaps under center.
They were certainly limited. Whatever was going on, they were limited, and they also seemed like they didn't want to play Penix.
Yeah. Well, because they paid so much money for Kirk Cousins, and
still, if he's hurt,
but they were winning games. They were 6-3, and they were winning
also
games.
True.
It's hard to take a guy out of a situation where they're winning games. Now, I don't know do you think Cousins is going to be on this roster when the season starts, Ryan?
How can he be? We were talking about this earlier. I think you seem more aligned with the idea they could keep him. Look, if he's clearly not as good as Penix, then fine. I don't see a world where, like, if Penix struggles a little bit, are you gonna get those vets being like, yo, like Kirk maybe like corny, but he is like his quarterback play is fine. And so you run that risk. You run the risk of the guy who's always popular in the locker room, who's also
popular in the locker room.
He's always been popular in every locker room he's been in. So I'm going to assume he's at least someone that has a relationship with the players. And so, yeah, I wonder what that means. I've read stuff about Michael Penix maybe not being, not that he's not a leader, but not like the strongest type of leader. So if that generally we tend to want to get that hurdle out of the way of the young quarterback. Don't worry about the vet that other guys like lurking behind you. That would be a force. If I was a Falcons fan, I don't know if I'd want that.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. My point was more so, I don't know why they didn't figure out a trade for him earlier. Maybe they're hoping a QB injury. I see everyone in the chat was hitting us up about doing the Jets preview a day early. Justin Fields, it's a dislocated toe. He's day to day, although hopefully it doesn't limit his mobility. We are still in late July as of tape time, but still optimistic, assuming he comes back 100% there for Justin Fields. But you hope for I think if you're the Falcons, you hope for a situation like the Jets where maybe a team is desperate for a starter and will trade for Kirk Cousins. I don't know why you didn't trade Kirk Cousins before. And I guess to my point,
you're right. I think the value, Kirk Cousins value,
they're knocking on wood that someone gets injured between now and the trade deadline,
or someone realizes they need a court. I mean, do you trade him to the Saints for a haul in division?
Oh yes, but
because he's cooked.
But there's no way the Saints are trading for him.
If they get to the end of training camp and they're like, we actually
come on. They have a 2nd round draft pick, Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler. They know what they are getting into. The Saints, if they wanted to trade for a vet, they would have already done it.
It's fair, but I'm just saying,
wouldn't you want if you actually thought like, hey, we want a vet to kind of raise the floor? Our whole case against the Saints is that they're not trying to raise the floor this year.
No, I agree. They're eating all the dead money.
They would have brought Cousins
like
in
that,
so you could have the whole offseason.
A team like that, a team.
But I don't know who's that team. I guess
the Jets.
I don't think the Jets are going to do it barring injury. And
what if this like, we're not doctors. What if this toe injury is 6 months?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe they are the team. But I think it's probably
what if Aaron Rodgers goes down? Steelers.
The Steelers were certainly in the mix. And I think if Aaron Rodgers, to your point, if he had a season-ending injury between now and the trade deadline, I do think the Steelers might trade.
I think they're gambling. They're certainly gambling that someone might have some interest in Kirk Cousins. But I guess you also, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of money too. I mean, just what it looks almost as bad as the Watson deal.
Which one? The Cousins?
Yeah.
Well, I would say the counter. You forget that the Watson thing, it's all guaranteed.
Yeah.
And they gave up a ton of assets. What was it, like 3 first round picks? It's tough to beat the Deshaun Watson, but also too, much like the Deshaun Watson, everyone was killing them at the time. They're like, no, you guys don't understand. We got to play. We got it all figured out. And that was not the case. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, that certainly for me is where the concern is. You bring in Jeff Ulbrich as the defensive coordinator. He was the Jets.
He did a great job down the stretch.
He was the interim Jets head coach. The defense fell apart. Now maybe he just is one of those can be a coordinator, can't be a head coach. You have there's a couple difficult road spots. You get some back-to-backs there. Now their issue overall has been pass rush, right? Now they decided to bring up the what they did in the draft. Yeah, Jalen Walker.
You liked
out of Georgia. I thought it was a good pick. Now there's some off the field stuff I think with him. James Pierce Jr. I love that they took 2 shots. And if you look at like those trade value calculations, by all accounts, it was a steal for the Falcons. Now you bring in some pass rush help. Could they hit the ground running? Maybe, maybe not. A lot of times, usually it takes a little bit for an edge guy, pass rusher to develop in the NFL. It's rare you have an impact year one, but we're seeing even at the cornerback position for years, it was always like rookie cornerbacks, they're not going to help you. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean did great for the Super Bowl champ Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe something is, and we've seen, Jalen Carter had a pretty good rookie year. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can get some help on that defensive side early. Bring in some old guys, your Leonard Floyds, give a little bump here to the pass rush. That to me, the level of defense is, if you think their defense can kind of hang around, or there's some games where they can win some shootouts, put their defense in some good situations, I think you can be slightly optimistic on this Falcons team.
They did give up their 2nd rounder and a 1st rounder next year to move up. I mean, they really are gambling hard.
Yeah.
Like that. You made a comment about the value of the trade. I think they were, they were kind of getting crushed. If some people saying they gave up a lot for James Pierce, who, speaking of off field stuff.
Yeah.
Like he might be a top 10 pick, if not for some off.
Well, but
stuff. now he's there.
Now he's there. He's playing. Could James Pierce have an impact right away?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he might not win defensive rookie of the year because they might not want to vote for him. He might not be a good guy, but come Sunday,
he gets double-digit sacks. I don't care. They don't care about how good of a guy you are.
Well, and they start off with the, we'll get to their schedule here in a second. They start off with the Tampa Bay Bucks, who, as we know, the Tristan Wirfs injury is, I think, a pretty underrated
what's
injury.
The reporting on that for timeline?
I can pull it out of my ass, but I think it was like 6 games at least. He's definitely going to miss time. And, for an offensive line guy dealing with a knee injury, man, that's tough. Like right now at this point in the season, because you got to get back into shape and then hit the ground running. I kind of worry about the Tampa Bay offensive line if Wirfs is not out there.
Yeah, any team without their left tackle.
Turnover margin -6, so not crazy one way or the other. They did have a couple random. Falcons did not fumble on a rushing attempt during the season, which is kind of weird. Now I don't know if that do they count quarterback designed runs? I don't know. But that means, Bijan and Tyler Algier hold on to the ball. They recovered 16 of 20 fumbles on offense, but only 5 of 16 fumbles on defense. So it feels like the fumble luck,
it's middle of the road,
nothing crazy on one way or the other. Another reason why you might be a little optimistic that they can win some close games. Young Cho Koo.
Yeah,
on the hot seat officially.
They brought in kicker as
they brought in another. It is funny they have kicking stats. We just need make miss, but their field goal kicker ranked 31st in field goals made over expectation, posting a terrible season, making just 71% of his field goals, 29 to 41. If they can bring in a competent field goal kicker, and I don't know anything about Lenny Craig, the guy pushing him right now, but if he's
great,
I don't think he can be worse than Young Cho Koo. So I think that's another reason possibly be a little optimistic.
Call out.
Well, I mean, if you're at close games, kicking does matter, right?
Yep. And I would say on top of the draft picks, they, bringing in Leonard Floyd, you're trying to fix the pass rush thing with volume. And I wrote down a quote, Sean, that Ulbrich had. Quote, I remember the first time I met him. This is talking about James Pierce. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. All 6'5", 240 pounds of him. That man can't hide in a crowd. It's like, geez, it feels like you're reading one of those airport romance novels. I mean, if they get it right, they got it right.
Yeah.
Now we didn't talk about him, but they also double dipped on the safety. Again, you like that strategy when you need help there. They also went out and signed a safety. Again, they're trying to fix the problem with volume. My issue with the defense is going to be can the defensive staff get it done? And what the fuck are we going another year where we have to remind people that Raheem Morris, not someone who's had success in the National Football League? So I understand. I'm knowingly just ignoring certain regression factors that would typically have me liking a team, because I know this is the Falcons. I don't know exactly what happened, but the franchise is cursed, and Raheem Morris is not the right man for the job.
Hey, come hang out with us. Circa sign up weekend, August 21st to the 23rd. Come sign up for the Circa Million, 6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 15 million guaranteed. Circa Grandissimo, 1.5 million guaranteed. And there's going to be a lot of SGPN listeners there. There's an open bar party Thursday, Friday night. We're doing live podcasts from Media Row. We're doing the VSiN show. So a lot of time to come hang out with us. Colby's going to be there. CJ Man in the Box will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can use the promo code SGP15, get you 15% off your stay. But come on, sign up for the contest, split it a couple ways. If you and your couple of your whoever's in your gambling group text, get the mojo going. Hey, this is the year we're gonna win Survivor. This is the year we're gonna cash in Circa Million. And of course, go to footballcontest.com. So it's very easy. You sign up in Las Vegas anytime between now and when the season starts. Also available in Reno. Shout out to Reno. Sign up in person, and then you can play from anywhere thanks to our official proxies over at footballcontest.com. And we hook you up with the promo code SGP, $50 off your proxy fees. So we get you 15% off the hotel stay, $50 off the proxy fees, and you're going to come hang out with us and get wasted. What more could you want? We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening. I feel like I should have some more Michael Penix. The way from doing the deep dive,
he's lefty though, right?
And I realized that
Might be a
was
problem.
probably my part of my negativity handicapping him. Lefties just look weirder throwing the football, and you're like, that was part of my hate of Tua for all these years. Now maybe I'm right on Tua, especially long term, but Michael Penix, I probably need some more shares of him over in Best Ball Mania, because if that hits, that offense has some good skill players. They play in a dome. They have a defense that has some questions. They could be involved in a lot of shootouts. And of course, that's what you want when you're playing underdog fantasy, Best Ball Mania. Of course, you can play the pick'em, higher, lower, win up to 500x. And of course, get started with our promo code SGPN. Get you a deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
So you're going to be high on the Falcons. All right. Let's look at the schedule. Get my analog version out here. We're up to 7.5, Sean.
Look
officially into the mediocre tier. Somehow they were 2 wins higher than this last year. That is one of the things that does give me at least pause on an auto fire on the under here. They dropped this sucker.
Yeah.
No, it is basically a rookie. It's like a half season rookie. Plus 142 to make the playoffs. That feels cheap. Minus 178 to miss.
Plus 142. You said.
What did I say?
Plus
172. Plus 142 to make. Minus 178 to miss. Plus 220 for the division. 28-1 for the conference. 60-1 to win the Super Bowl. I'll be completely honest. All those prices feel incredibly short. And specifically, I don't think the NFC South's getting 2 teams in. So you're this big gap between the make playoff price and the division price does not feel right to me. That being said, 7.5 feels more right,
very manageable,
and
especially with the schedule
in a lot better of a spot than last year when you were a Super Bowl contender.
Compared to these other teams that we've talked about so far, Ryan, they're not a dog of bigger than 7 points.
That's interesting, because I do like to think about it or in the context of the teams that we have talked about it. I think you're right. This is where I'm going to put my Carolina to finish in second place in the division to the real test.
Yes,
they do feel like a very similar situation to me. I like, this is going to sound crazy, I like Bryce Young better at quarterback.
It's a little crazy.
That is crazy. First 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers division game. In general, we haven't talked about it much. Do we like or dislike the abundance of division games week 1?
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know
It's just like college. Give me 3 or 4 non-conference games before we get into division play. I mean, honestly, the NFL would fix everything if they just had division windows. Like 2 of the last 3 weeks are division windows, and just break it up. Just have these 2-week bands where you just play division games throughout the schedule. Just not in the first week.
Yeah, I'm probably with you there. Now, Eagles Cowboys opening night, that's going to be electric. Chargers Chiefs Friday night in Brazil.
Well, they're division games. Of course they're going to be awesome. I'm just saying I don't like them week 1.
Yeah, and our Spotify comments are back. We can respond now. We were locked out of our Spotify account for a while.
Oh my god, we might have to do a Patreon episode on the Spotify situation.
And someone commented saying, "I agree with you guys. Week 1 is special enough, that you don't need to use the division
point,
game," which I think is solid logic.
Great point,
because. Yeah, I would prefer them later on, or to your point, at least, October when I'll
be honest. This is a great week to do the bonus AFC game. Just get it out of the way. We play that extra AFC game now because of the 17 game schedule or interconference game.
Yeah.
Just play it opening week to the point of everyone's going to be stoked. A couple years back when the Giants opened with the Titans, I wasn't like, oh shucks.
No, you're
like, this is awesome. It doesn't matter.
Football.
So get it out of the way. So for those first 4, the spread, we got short numbers across the board, and the biggest number, I know that JJ McCarthy looks great in the 7-on-7 drills.
JJ McCarthy,
but let's pump the brakes. We'll circle them as one of the overrated teams in the look ahead markets. So Washington and Minnesota, 2 of the most overrated teams in the look ahead markets, are the larger spread. To me, all 4 of these are winnable.
Yes,
all four are losable.
that's probably true. And it's going to come down to, hey, can this great test of the Falcons secondary early at Minnesota and an early test for JJ McCarthy making his second start as a 4.5 point favorite on the look ahead line at Carolina. I think
I'm shopping the division games here.
which makes sense, but I think they can. I think they can actually hang around with Washington and Tampa Bay and Minnesota. I think.
So stopping the run is attitude. We agree.
Yes.
They weren't great at that.
Yeah. No, they're bringing in some dogs.
They got new players, but they're young players. Young players don't always,
and Ulbrich was a very much a rah guy.
So we'll see, but they'll be tested right away with basically the first 3 weeks with run schemes where if they're not willing to be tough, they're just going to get the ball run down their throat. And so actually now that I'm talking about it, that's
what are you doing, Ryan?
Do I even give them the Tampa game? I don't think I do. I'm lying. Tampa's not going to lose that game.
Now the Wirfs injury is huge, and we'll see.
Right. You know what? I'll leave it. Leave it chopped. 2-2.
We'll see where I end up come week 1.
Actually, 1-3. Did they beat Washington? They shouldn't be 3.5 point home dogs against Washington.
You think it should be bigger?
No. That's Washington's overrated. 2-2.
I'll go 3-1.
Really?
I think they could surprise little people, and they get that early bye going into it. So yeah, 3-1.
They're going to surprise little people, specifically little people.
Yeah, that's the preferred nomenclature.
All right, so moving early bye week, which I don't think this is what you want, because if you've started out hot, you don't want to have to take this break, and if things go poorly against that schedule, it doesn't get any easier. So coming out of the bye, you got the Monday night. So this is a schedule alert. This is an early double header Monday night thing. So this is a 4:15 West Coast kick against the Bills. Then you have at Niners, Dolphins at home, at Patriots. Early enough to where the weather probably doesn't bother you in New England. Miami. It almost Miami going into a dome against that secondary and that run defense. If they haven't sorted out their run defense, Buffalo, San Francisco, Miami is going to be a problem.
I'm going to say
maybe even New England.
I'm going to say 1-3. I think 4-4 halfway sounds right for this Falcons team. What are you doing, Ryan?
I think they could go 0-4 here.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. They're only favored in one game.
0-4.
0-4. Okay, so you have them. You have them 2-6. I have them 4.
Yeah, go 1-3. Go 1-3. There's a win in there somewhere. They do have a tremendous amount of small favorite spots. So then they head over to Germany, where the Falcons will play the Colts. Interestingly enough, Sean, we'll be talking Colts later on today in 2 days. Then we have the Panthers home game.
Yep.
No rest off the Germany game here for the Falcons here, going right back to it. Then we have at New Orleans and at New York Jets, a back-to-back road spot. Their second of the season. This is a like a schedule wise very difficult little stretch that they have here, where the teams are all very beatable. Obviously, they're favored in all of them. But you don't like the way they're sequenced. I don't love the Germany followed with no rest right into a divisional game, then off on a back-to-back road spot against two teams you should beat. Definitely not going to win both those games. Maybe it's the cold weather, or maybe it's the fact that I'm chopping the. Wait, no, the Saints didn't win this. I have to have the Falcons win that game. So the Jets game's a loss. The Saints game's a win. I'm not chopping the division at all. I lied. Carolina's a win, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Colts could be a win. So maybe this is maybe this is 3-1 now.
I'm 3-1. This is a manageable section.
Roller coaster. Then we go Seattle at home.
So you're officially 3-1.
Yeah, I'm 3-1 in that stretch, I think.
Okay.
Although the Colts could maybe not have to pass the ball and still beat the Falcons if the run defense.
Jonathan Taylor might have a big day.
Yeah. 2-2. Give me 2-2. Give me 2-2.
You're all over. You're a high waffling degree, Ryan.
Because I see it. I see it. Seattle at home at Tampa. at Arizona. That's a tricky little back-to-back spot there towards the end of the season. Then you have the Rams coming to town and the Saints. So I think there's at least there's 2 to 3 wins here. What am I at right now? I'm at 5 wins.
You're at 5 and 7, Ryan.
There's 3 wins right there.
Okay. So you're going 3 and 2 in your last quadrant.
I think so. Yes.
So you officially have the Atlanta Falcons for 2025 going 8 and 9.
Oh no, I'm that guy.
What do you mean?
The juice is to the over. I'm basically saying like, hey, it's a push.
It's basically a push for me. It's a no play. Give me 3 and 2. I think they go 2 and 1 at home and they win one of those road games. 10 and 7 for your Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
I think I think they're the last playoff team in.
So you completely disagree every time I say this division has no chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Falcons do have a chance, and I think the Panthers do have a chance as well. I was on the fence of maybe playing Panthers second in the division, but I'm going to take a little sprinkle on Atlanta Falcons to make the playoffs. I really like their over 7.5 wins. I feel like that's too low with this offense and this schedule.
I was pretty pessimistic, and I still got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm on the over. Barely.
All right, let's talk about the best bets.
I don't like it
for the Atlanta Falcons. And before we do, of course, shout out to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Mybookie.ag promo code SGPN. 100% match. MyBookie, man, they've been with us for years. I've had my bookie account for what as it feels like as long as they've been around. Always easy withdrawal with the sweet cryptocurrency, deposit with Bitcoin, withdrawal with Bitcoin, makes it super easy.
Do you think there's someone who's listened to this show for longer than like 6 months that does not have a MyBookie?
If they do, they can't call yourself a fan. And if you're listening right now, you have to be a fan. If you're involved in two-a-days, what are you doing? Toss us a bone and help yourself out. You always want more options. MyBookie.ag promo code SGPN, great option to have in your available sports book portfolios. And of course, shout out to Rhythm and their power trends. Love me a good power trend. Available on Rhythm, and I cannot wait to fire up the NFL model, the college football model. Rhythm has been killing it with the MLB player props, WNBA player props. Get your 7-day free trial today. Start building your own models, play around with the system, and get going. Or you can just rely on Rhythm's stuff, and they have a bunch of great picks. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM. Get your 7-day free trial today. Get started now over at Rhythm. Kramer.
Yes.
How you feeling about the Atlanta Falcons? You're scared to fade them. You want to fade them, but you can't. You're scared. You're yellow. Are you going to take the over 7.5 wins?
So like here's the real cop outs. I would say like if we finish this year and Michael Penix is like clearly one of the better rookies from that class. Okay. That would surprise me a tiny bit, but that's in the range of outcomes. But I also think he could be a disaster. And so, yeah, it's a wide range of outcomes. You like what they have around him. He can't have a league worst completion percentage above expectation. He can't have the inaccuracy. Otherwise, if he does, which I think he will, and I don't know, hopefully Cousins isn't there, but I don't know who they're going to replace him with if he's having these bad games. But the idea that he could average north of 1 interception a week, a la a Jameis Winston type situation, plus 1,600 on him to have the most interceptions. That's one of my.
So what do you have?
Penix most interceptions
at what price?
Plus 1,600.
Okay, I see the case for it. I don't think he's going anywhere in the starting position. They could be throwing a lot, so I totally see it. I'm not
quarterbacks who had worse CPOE last year DTR, Anthony Richardson, Spencer Rattler, Cooper Rush, Drew Lock. That's it.
On deep passes, 20+ air yards or more, Penix recorded plus 1.3% completion pass rate over expected and ranked number 4 in accuracy.
Okay.
So I don't think it's completely all bad. Also it is a small sample size. I'm rolling the dice and saying I liked what I saw in the small sample size. I like the position players they have around him. I liked what I saw out of him in Washington. I think he's going to have a nice year.
Just be careful on the curse of this guy throws a nice deep ball.
Why?
Oh, Dan Jones had that for a couple seasons.
No, but this guy's different.
But he doesn't
than
do
Dan
the
Jones.
short stuff well. And that's kind of Michael Penix is this. Michael Penix is lefty Dan Jones.
But that's pretty insulting. Well, then how are you on the over if you think he's
I don't. I said I don't like being on the. You know what? Bump me down to 0-4 when I went 1-3 there in the second quadrant. So now I'm on the under.
Now you're on the under 7-10.
Now there's no debate on the Panthers finishing second. By the way, we've already talked about 3 teams in this division.
Right. Doesn't that show you that it's kind of open?
Yeah. Yeah. The Saints suck. Panthers are improved and the Falcons, good offense, bad team.
I will take I kind of likes for the AFC South, but that market is not open right now. But I will take Michael Penix most passing yards at 25-1, just because the dome games, the shootouts, the possible holes on the defense.
Do you like the interceptions too? Then
no, because I want to be rooting for Michael Penix in this situation. But I said to you before we started the show, he could have a Jameis Winston type season where he is just chucking it all over the place. And especially if they're playing in some shootout type game situations. And I see Degenerate Dan with a great reminder saying odds for 10 wins is plus 210. Odds to make playoffs, we have it at plus 142.
Oh, you find better price.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to 10+ wins at plus 210, courtesy of Degen Dan.
What market were you looking for in the
AFC South passing Michael Penix? I just checked and it seemed like the division leader stuff for passing was down for a second.
All right, I see it. Michael Penix. What do you want? Yards or touchdowns?
Ooh, give me both. What are the prices?
Michael Penix. So touchdowns is Baker Mayfield minus 250. Michael Penix plus 250. So yards is Baker Mayfield minus 130. Penix plus 200.
Yeah, I'll do yards.
Yeah, it's a shorter price for a reason. Okay, I certainly, I guess Drake London.
Now I do have some love for Baker, so I could see myself week 1 talking myself into Bucks laying 2.5. That my first reaction was that the number felt short, but kind of coming back. Like, look at this schedule. There are a lot of indoor games. They have that Germany game against the Colts. I think that's pretty winnable. You get 2 games against the Saints. I mean, what's your hardest road game? At San Francisco, Buffalo at home. That's going to be a tough game. Miami, sure, but also like Miami, you want to talk about variance. That's all over the place. New England on the road, that might actually be a game for New England. Rams at home. Do we think Stafford is going to be healthy? The back thing is kind of
last year, didn't it? He was on a pitch count. I don't know. I feel like they do this. McVay is dramatic with his play of the injury reporting, and I think Stafford's fine. I think he's an old guy, and yeah, it's always worrisome. He's an old guy, but he's tough as shit. He seems to figure it out.
But that game's going to be interesting. I could see them being in a mix there for the wild card that last week 18. But I'll take the 10 wins at plus 210. Better price, and I got him going 10-7. Why not? Why not be cautiously optimistic here about the Atlanta Falcons?
I mean, I get it. I understand the case. Not for me.
Not for you.
You're a Michael Penix guy, though.
I am optimistic about Penix. Now, I think if you're being truly honest with yourself, you were worried you missed the Penix train as a Giants fan.
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
No.
I think it's pretty clear that he was playing in college in a very advantaged situation where he was banged up and hurt. He finally lands in a healthy spot behind an offensive line that had been playing together a ton with three NFL wide receivers.
What isn't this? He's playing with three NFL wide receivers in Atlanta. An offensive line that's playing well together.
My eyes.
Are you describing a similar situation here?
My eyes last year tell me that we're gonna watch a guy that will make some amazing throws.
Yeah,
and then some unbelievably bad throws, and his slow release will be a problem at some point.
Okay.
And the blind side. This is a right-handed offensive line. He's a left-handed quarterback.
What do you mean it's a right-handed?
Well, they're not used to the blind side being over there, so that's going to be weird.
What do you mean? They played with him last year.
A little bit,
yeah,
but it's not natural. You go your whole life without playing with a lefty quarterback.
So you don't like any lefty quarterbacks you're out on in the NFL?
Which one's been good? I mean, Tua looks funny, throws a catchable ball, just like Michael Penix throws a very catchable ball.
Steve Young,
yeah, even he looked a little funny.
Well, they look funny, but they could. Tim Tebow, Michael Vick was left-handed, right?
Michael Vick's great. That was the right.
You're talking about a left-handed quarterback that's going to come down and light things up in hot Atlanta. Why not Michael Penix?
Sure, Michael Penix is athletic,
and you have Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
I feel like even if you're a fucking dunce of an offensive coordinator, I could draw up some decent play-by-play for,
I mean, look at last.
I could draw up some decent plays for this Atlanta offense.
Yeah, they're gonna have to score 30 points. I mean, that's the thing. They not only have to be good, they have to be great. They're gonna have to score 30 points again. I mean, unless the defense is good. Maybe the defense. That's where
I think the defense can take a slight jump up.
Sure, of course it can.
I think it will take a slight jump up.
And I think
Penix will take a jump up from what we saw his rookie year. I'm glad that he got some playing time. I think that was helpful for him.
I think
he got to learn behind Kirk Cousins. Everyone says that's really important.
I think I would say Falcons most likely team for us to see a fight between the offense and the defense on national TV.
All right,
that's my prediction.
I don't know.
What other bets?
Cowboys are already fighting.
Oh my god, it's so glorious. I can't wait to talk.
The Penix passing yards to me is the most interesting.
Any other? I do. Now we've talked about enough teams where I could throw out my superfecta on the division. We could also save that for the Bucks episode.
You're just locked in on the Bucks.
Bucks 1, Panthers 2, Falcons 3, Saints 4.
Okay. Do you want me to add that for you?
Let's add it. 6-1.
Okay. Tampa Bay, Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, 6-1.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be playing. I don't think any of these exacta, superfecta, whatevers for this division because I feel like
they play $2 though. Only $2.
I feel like there's a lot of weird tiebreaker situations. This division is kind of odd in general. So I'm just happy with my.
Is it though? I mean, I think there's there's a clear worst team, and I think there's a clear best team, and so you just have to sort out.
And then I guess I have Atlanta walking through this being slightly better than Carolina,
that's the chalk. So you're on the chalk. I'm on the second chalk.
I guess, yeah, but I don't feel like many people are optimistic about the Falcons, and their win totals at 7.5. But to your point, as far as the division order, yes, you're right. I am chalk when it comes to the division standings, but also,
are you? We haven't done the Bucks yet. Maybe the Bucks will finish worse than the Falcons.
It'll be interesting. There's definitely some reasons to be a little scared off on the Bucks, but Baker's been pretty good, and they have a decent schedule. Kramer, who are we talking about tonight?
The Falcons week 10 Germany matchup. The Colts.
Kramer, and shame on you, shame on the chat for not reminding me. Luckily, I write things down. No one asked about the phrase that pays worth.
Well, we haven't. We would have gotten a reminder.
Well, we almost were wrapping up the show, and I'd expect the chat to remind me. Hey, Sean, you got to give out the word for the phrase that pays. Yes, 32 word phrase in order. Keep track however you want. Submit your list. We will have a form once the 32 team previews are done. Submit your list then, or mail it in. Today's this episode, this episode's word, boys. BOYZ. BOYZ. You got to spell it correctly.
I saw some DM activity earlier.
Really?
Yeah. I that's all I'll say.
Okay. Maybe
I'll leave it at that. Whoa.
Degenerate Dan. Shame on us. Wow, Sean.
Wow.
We got Daquan the Great, Ryan.
Oh hell yeah!
So saying no way do the Bucks win opening week. That could be a little surprise. Atlanta Falcons spot. It is hate week, right?
It is hate week. Well, no, hate week
or
is
the Saints.
Saints and Falcons.
Yeah. Well, the Saints hate themselves this year. Although I always try and like on the low win total teams come up with like a contrarian, optimistic point of view. Could not get there with the Saints. Kramer, we're already 10 teams in. These things are flying by. 2-a-days continue with tonight, where we were talking about the Indianapolis Colts. Appreciate everyone hopping in live, smashing that subscribe button, sending in some Spotify comments, tossing us a 5-star over on Spotify. Always appreciate that. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second Money Green. He's Ryan.
Ciao.
Kramer, let it ride.